That was a big angry bull shark. And if that's not a sign of summer, I don't know what is. But that's only been a sign of summer in recent years. There's always been bull sharks around, but I've been diving for about the last 15 or 18 years or so. And the last several years, it's just gotten absolutely crazy. Every single spot. Bull shark, bull shark, bull shark. Anyways, before we get into that rant, Joey Antonelli here. Thank you very much for watching the channel. If you're new, I post videos. I've been trying to do at least one a week. Usually I do 2 or 3 videos a week. Hopefully we get more back into that groove going. And if you're a returning viewer, I appreciate that even more. So thank you very much for the continued support. Quick shout out Janto Gear. These are my hats. I make them. I sell them. I got some shirts. I got some stickers. JantoGear.com. And now what are we doing? It's summertime. So that means fishing and diving. Offshore, we're going for mangrove snapper, but we're not going for... A mangrove snapper only has to be like 12 inches, I think, to keep. Something like that. I don't know, because I never have to measure them. The ones we get offshore are 20, 25, 30 inches. They're massive mangrove snapper that can grow over 12 pounds. The biggest one I've ever got was 15 pounds. They get absolutely giant. And that's what we're going for in this video. This is going to be raw clips, we're going to call it, raw footage. I'm just going to walk you through each dive and tell you exactly what's happening and why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Soon as we got to this spot, Mark caught a mangrove snapper that ended up being just over 12 pounds. After that, we thought it was on. But we didn't get any more mangroves. We just caught red snapper after red snapper after red snapper. So I decided to hop in the water, and this is what I seen. I'm free diving here. That means I'm holding my breath, I'm swimming down, and I'm using a spear gun to try to talk one of these mangroves into coming home. Right there, I lined up the shot, and that is called a stone shot. I hit him right in the lights out, turned the switch off, made him do a little El Rolo, and that is what you want as a spear fisherman. You can see I'm only about 15-20 feet down when I took the shot, and these are big snapper. There's several advantages to stoning a fish, with some of them being super obvious, like you land the fish most likely unless something really dumb happens. But some are a little less obvious. Now, when you stone a fish, it doesn't struggle, so the amount of attention it draws from sharks and other predators is very minimal. It's my favorite thing to do because I know I got a really good chance of not ending up in a sharky situation. Anyways, I pulled the spear out because I still want to have something in my hand to push off a shark if a shark does come up. So I threw that fish in the boat, I got back in the water, and I immediately saw the big red snapper, I saw bonitas buzzing around, and I saw the mangroves. They were sitting in the same spot as they just were. So I did the same thing. I drifted down real slow. A lot of people comment on the videos and say it's crazy how we get so close and the fish are so dumb. A lot of this just comes with time in the water and learning how to act. Now I'm very, very slowly moving, and I'm waiting for the perfect shot. I'm moving my gun slow, I'm barely kicking, I'm just gliding and trying to appear not threatening at all. And I know they're going to come back for the chum. So you can see as the fish wave back and forth, I keep my spear gun aimed at the piece of chum they're keyed in on, and then I can do what you saw just there. That was another stone shot, perfect El Rolo, and again, no issues from sharks so far. That was pretty shallow, again 15-20 feet. This time I'm going to have to go a little bit deeper. I start making the drop down, I can see the red snapper in the mangroves once again, and I'm just sinking and trying to get them in, but they're starting to get a little wise to my tricks. You can see the water's real clear and pretty and blue up at the top, but the deeper we go, the greener the water gets. I see how many fish there are and where they are in relation to the boat, and instead of trying to drop down even deeper and shoot them here, I decide, because I don't have an easy shot first off, they're starting to go deeper, and the deeper they go, the more likely I am to be in the shark zone. That cold, murky thermocline layer is where those bulls like to hang out, and I can't see them, and that's what I really don't like. They could be right there, and if I don't stone the fish, they got a really good chance of grabbing that fish before I can get it into me. So since I don't have the perfect shot here, I decide not to pull the trigger. I come up to the surface, and I tell Mark to put a bait out. And right here, you're going to see Mark's bait get smoked by this mangrove.
That's a mangrove.
Mark's got the big fish hooked, but that does not mean it's over. He's got to pull hard on that thing, and that's because of sharks. There are so many bull sharks and sandbar sharks, it is just absolutely out of control. And sure enough, a bull shows up. So even me I'm not going down really defending his fish. I'm not trying to push the shark away or anything like that. but just being in the water is enough sometimes to kind of deter the shark or just put something different in there that they're not used to seeing under every single boat that's out here hooking snapper. The shark kind of veers over towards me, but not aggressive body language at all, just kind of checking it out, seeing what's going on. And it was really cool. Mark landed the fish. I got to see it eat it. It was pretty amazing. Robin got the net on it, and the fish was landed. Now there's this snapper. I'm up again. This snapper is going to crop dust across the whole ocean, apparently, and I'm not down deep. A lot of people think even though I'm diving in 100 or 120 foot of water, that I need to be diving to the bottom, and I don't. I'm 20 feet down probably at this time, and I do horizontal. It's blue water hunting. It's blue water hunting for snapper. These fish are coming up, and this is a good example of when not to pull the trigger and just being patient. I'm in range. There's so many times I could have pulled the trigger, and so many people I know that would have pulled the trigger ahead of time, but as long as that piece of chum's there, I know he's not done. He's gonna keep feeding, and I wait for my shot. I didn't get the stone shot, so I rip him as hard as I can because I know that bull's around, and sure enough, the bull comes flying in, and I think it's actually a different bull because that one had a few cobias with it. One of the cobias was borderline keeper, but I wasn't messing with them, mostly because it was borderline, but also by myself. I don't like spearing the cobia off the bulls. So we're gonna get this fish in the boat. I didn't brain it. I just had a weird grip on it. It bit me in the stomach, actually, which you'll see when I get in the boat. And if you know mangrove snapper, that could have been kind of bad. Not like dangerous, but would have just hurt really bad. But we're gonna call for the boat, put it in the net right here, and then I'll climb up in the boat.
Grab the spear. Grab the spear. That one I definitely didn't stone. Shark came up on that one. Or bit me right here.
The mangrove bit you?
Yeah.
With my third big mangrove in the boat in just a few minutes, really. I mean, I was probably in the water for about 15 or 20 minutes at this time. It was time to hop back in and try to do it again. I found a big school of them, and now I'm getting deeper. You can see the green water. This isn't in that top 15 or 20 foot. It's probably more like 30 or 40 feet again, or maybe even closer to 50. Lined up the shot, and I hit him really good, but not the stone shot. So I knew it was time to rip him as hard as I can, get him into me, and then I could try to keep the shark away. Now, I'm pulling this fish into me and also trying to manage my shooting line. You do not want to get tangled in the line. If you get tangled in the line and the shark grabs the fish, now you got a whole nother problem on your hands, and that's why I carry a knife. A lot of people think dive knives are used for defense. Dive knives are used to save yourself in a tangled situation or something like that, and braining fish. After that one, I slid back in again, but the bull shark was getting a little too aggressive for my taste right now, so it was time to call it.
Fish and dive. People that say divers, you can't catch fish because there's divers in the water. I was spearing fish, and then you saw me looking at that fish as it ate Mark's bait, so that's not a thing. But we got a nice little quick pile of mangroves, 6 mangroves, along with another box full of fish. You guys want some dive gear, Florida Free Divers. And then the gun, this is my go-to little reef gun, my Koah 120 Euro. I love this gun. You should always have one gun. It's like your go-to gun. You don't have to think, you just point, shoot. I'm not a big fan of having a bunch of different guns. I got 2 guns, big gun, little gun. That's a stud. That's the first one. Mark caught that one. I didn't get that one on video. That's gotta be a 11 pounder, maybe even bigger. Beautiful fish. Some big old mangroves. Hopped in, worked out pretty good. Nice little pile, a little bit of hook and line, a little bit of spear. I mean, look at the size of these things compared to, I mean, that's a solid sized fish right there. I think that was the first one I shot. Don't know if I got them all on video, but I know I got some of them on video. Now it's time to put them back in the cooler.